Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much. I do not take it for granted. I actually appreciate the fact that you took your time to watch this video. Guys, on a serious note, this virus is actually bad. If you are still in denial about COVID-19 coronavirus, then you've got another thing coming. You know, the way it's spreading, it's scary, guys. It's so scary. And the way it's actually going from country to country, I honestly don't understand what's going on with our country. Like 2020, what's happening? But guys, like, this is beyond the president's control. This is beyond the doctor's control. Well, we're hoping that there will be those professionals that are able to actually assist in finding the cure for this virus before it actually spreads out and then kills a whole lot of people. I mean, everyone is affected. You know, I'll speak for South Africa. The fact that there are about 61 cases now, I don't know what's going to happen in a few days, because now a few days ago it was on 30 something, now it's on 61. So you can imagine how fast it's spreading. And I'm thinking about those rural settlements where, you know, even medical care, it's not actually actively practiced. And, you know, even testing stations for this virus, you know, especially in those kind of areas, is still a problem. You would wonder how it would actually affect, you know, if one person is actually infected with this virus. So it would actually spread. I mean, think about those areas where they even share toilets, you know, outside toilets and all that. And not only that, there's still bacteria, there's still a whole lot of diseases going around that are actually not, you know, good for a human being. But the fact that you stay in a rural settlement where there's like just dustbins everywhere, there's like, the place is dirty, like there's water everywhere, like, you know, all of those things. So it's actually hectic and it's scary. And, you know, as much as, you know, just like anyone else, you know, we human, we think, I personally didn't take this serious until obviously I started reading more and watching more news and all that. I was like, what? Because I didn't think it was that severe. The fact that, you know, maybe there were few cases, I would think that, you know, if people are traveling, then they are more at risk, but at risk of actually getting it. But now it's like, I'm at home, but I stand to get it as well. You know, I get into a taxi, I get into a train, I stand a chance to actually get it. So I'm also not safe. So meaning we are actually faced with a very, very serious virus that we can't actually ignore. And I'm not recording this video just to try to look good or try to talk about good content and all that. But now this is something that is affecting all of us. And, you know, the fact that at some point, like a few days ago, I was talking to my some of my partners that I work with. We have an event that is coming, and, you know, one question was like, guys, do we need to actually cancel the event because, you know, people are gonna maybe decide to stay indoors because of this? You know, what do we do? And my response was like, no, we don't need to cancel it. We have to go on with it because it's not that severe. Those were actually my words. And then a few days later, boom, it's bad. It's actually worse. You know, from 30 something people, actually it was actually less than that, to about 61 cases in South Africa. You know, you might think that 61 is nothing, but hey, the way it's spreading, you know, yes, you can use your hand sanitizer, you can use your wipes, you can use your mask and everything like that. But now, talk about those people that don't have all of that. Talk about just sneezing, because, you know, some of the things that were said that, okay, when you sneeze, make sure that you close your mouth and all that. So imagine, you know, your hands are not sanitized, you sneeze with your hands, and then after that you're going to touch a door, you know, the door of a bus, of a train, for example, that someone else is going to touch, it's still dangerous. It's still not safe. You know, the fact that you're sanitized and all that. Even now, like, I'm sure businesses are actually booming again, because I see a lot of people with posting hand sanitizers, selling bulk of sanitizers. And then you ask yourself that, okay, are they even of good quality? Again, because there are people that get to sell stuff just to make money. You find that it's not actually it doesn't have all the right chemicals and all of that. So you can imagine how difficult it actually could be. So we are actually in danger. But that does not mean that we cannot protect ourselves. So all the steps that we are required to do, to wash our hands, use soap and all that, I think we need to practice all of that. I think we need to apply a whole lot of things that could actually protect us. But now, hygiene on its own, it's something that you really cannot shy away from. I mean, like when people are starting to look for hand sanitizers and all that, you ask yourself, but all this time, are you telling me that you were not using hand sanitizers? You were not using wipes and all that? Well, mask is something else. But now, like something like hand sanitizer, you would expect that people, are used to using that. And it brings the question of how are people taking care of themselves? Because hygienically, that's something that you need to take note of, and to ask yourself that, are you actually protecting yourself each and every time? So now that there's a disease that just came in, and now people are starting to panic getting hand sanitizers, all this time, what have you been using? How have you been washing your hands? And, I had a share of my experience where, I was employed. I would be in a workplace where, you get out of the bathroom, you wash your hands, and then you see someone getting out of the toilet and not even washing their hands, opening the door and walking out. That is so disgusting. And you ask yourself, but how? Why? You just did your business in the toilet, but you just walking out without actually wiping your hands, or actually washing your hands. Obviously just washing and not using soap. Sometimes it's just not even helping, because if there's some kind of infections, whatever, there's no soap. So what's going to kill those germs and all that? So imagine someone walking out without actually even washing hands. Small things like that, or doing your business and not making sure that you leave the place neat and all that. And we know of infections that people get from public toilets and all that. Some people can't even sit because they know that they can actually get infections. So it's actually hectic. And I think what we need to also dwell on maybe not necessarily dwell on, is to go back to the issue of health, the issue of hygiene and everything. Because it's like, people stay in dirty places. I cannot say I'm perfect in cleaning and everything, but obviously where I stay, I make sure that my place is okay, clean. Yes, maybe throwing my shirt there sometimes, or maybe my wardrobe is a bit messy, but you wouldn't actually look at it and feel like it's filthy, it's all of that. It will be clean, but it will just be a mess of a t-shirt being there or whatever. But obviously, when I get the time, I put it right and make sure that my place looks fine and neat and all that. But now, that aside, you cannot live in a dirty environment, and this now starts with your home. As much as we're so worried about outside, how you protect yourself outside, even in your house, if you're not in a very neat environment and all that, if you're not making sure that you always clean your house, you use detergents that are actually killing those germs, your domestos, your whatnot, if you're not using all of that, then it means that your health is at risk. Whether you have kids in the house or you don't, you are at risk because you are not actually protecting yourself. So hygiene, guys, is important, and I think we need to know that, because I feel like people are just going on and on, hey, hand sanitizers, as if they were not already there. You were supposed to have been using them then. So maybe there's someone who's only gonna start using them now, and which is a concern. Let's say this virus, they get a cure and it is cured. Tomorrow, what's gonna happen? You're gonna stop using it? There's other diseases that can come, and you might actually get affected or infected by that. So it's important that you make sure that you wash your hands with soap and all of that, and you keep your place nice and neat and clean. You always clean your place, your house, your bathrooms, your toilets, all of that. Make sure that you do it for the sake of your health and obviously the people that you live with and all that. Or another person, even a visitor who's going to come in, if you are in a filthy environment, I mean, come on. Think about it, guys, So those are some of the things that I think we need to take note. And obviously, there's kids, I mean, I've been hearing kids playing outside, and I'm thinking to myself, kids won't be able to play much now, because now schools are going to be suspended and they have to be indoors. Church have been suspended, all of those things. So this is actually real, guys. So I think we should not be ignorant. Let's take this serious and let's take note of what is happening and do our best to actually be safe. And those that are infected, it's so sad, but hey, we are still here. Let's try our best to protect ourselves. So yeah, I still have my hand sanitizers, I've got my wipes, I've got all of that. So you can definitely use hand sanitizer wipes, because sometimes there are environments where there's no water, which is sad, guys. In villages, I'm from a village, and I know that there are times that there won't be water coming out and all that. So it's quite sad, how will this affect rural settlements, especially if it can attack one person there or few people there. So it's actually bad, but hey, it is what it is. It's beyond our control, but we can only do our best to try to protect ourselves and use anything that will help us to stay safe and then stay healthy. So with that said, thank you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe and share the video for someone who is still ignorant about this virus, because it is actually happening. It's here. We can't do anything about it. All we can do is try by all means to protect ourselves. Thank you.